Hey everybody, this is Petra Monica with the Rebels Den, and today with me I have Lisa Friedt. And just to kind of review before we go into what she does, I've known her for a while, and I love hanging out in her space because we're very similar in certain ways. If you get an idea, just do it.
Absolutely. What the fuck are you waiting for?
Right? And that's probably one of those favorite parts about you, is that you just get an idea and you do it. And it's also part of your message is to just get it done. So welcome.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here, and I'm glad that we reconnected because now I get to be a part of all your awesomeness and watch you expand even more at what it is that you're doing.
Yeah, and it's awesome because I've been part of your radio shows when you had it. You've been part of my summit. So we tend to just hang out with each other, take a break, come back, take a break. It's like one of those things.
It's like they say, like about friendships where you don't have to see each other every day. You can just like rock back in. It's like nothing ever changed. You're like, yeah, cool, sweet. Let's have
right?
some fun.
So talk about what it is you do.
That's it's very interesting because like you, I don't just do the one thing. I'm not like niched right down to like within a breath of your life and so that everybody can easily identify. I do a lot of things. I do whatever that makes me fucking happy, first off.
Right.
Brings me joy. I'm in. Let's do that. Actually, my husband just bought me a coffee cup for Christmas, and it says, "That sounds like a terrible idea. What time?"
I love it. I need one of those.
Right? I was like, that sums me up and sums up my favorite people in life. So what am I doing now? So one of the things that I do for business is I'm a client creation specialist, which means I just give you out of the box ways to bring new clients into your business that are suited for you and for your business. So not just a cookie cutter strategy, because we all know, if you've followed me for any length of time, I have ranted about the cookie cutter strategies for years now. So that's one of the things that I do. The other thing that I am loving doing right now is taking women that have reached a level of success in their life. They've checked off all the boxes, but they're still looking for more fulfillment, another level of satisfaction, and we're helping them tune into what that actually is that will bring them that and getting them there without years of delay. It's a just do it kind of situation. So very excited.
I love that. So you're this business owner. I know you love hanging out at the ranch. I always love seeing your pictures when you go to the ranch and share part of that with you. But so part of the huge message of the Rebels Den is to follow your dreams and focus on your goals. Whatever that looks like. I'm not niched, but I am, right? It's one of those weird things. Like I'm for the creative, the rebels, the want to go against the status quo type of people. Because again, I agree. I don't believe in the cookie cutter crap of anything. But you do have to find a thing that you're really, really good at, I think, and then figure out how to make this work. Anywho,
absolutely.
With that being said, as an individual, maybe business aside, maybe not aside, maybe part of being that, what made you decide to go after your own personal dreams and goals in general?
Well, so my parents are ranchers, which means they are entrepreneurs. And I always laugh because people are like, oh, ranchers, they're uneducated, or, like they're people that work with their hands and they kind of get like the down the nose look sometimes.
Yeah.
And I laugh. I look at my parents, they're self-made. They built everything like from, they at 40 is when they really started rolling, and they run a multi-million-dollar operation. So I've been raised by entrepreneurs. My dad always said to me, with his loving nickname, Mabel. So he'd be like, Mabel, if you're your own boss, that's where the sweet spot is, because if the boss is a bitch, you can handle it, right?
Yeah, right.
So, and he's always like, my mom and my dad always said, do what you love, do what you love, do what you love. And that's what's important. We only go around once. And so that's working for other people never made me very happy. So
No, and I get that. I didn't have the same upbringing as you know, and I didn't have role models into entrepreneurial thing. Literally, I was like, stick in this lane, go to high school, go to college, get a career, freaking die. And it just never jived for me. It's always for me. I've been longer self-employed than I've been ever in a job, period. And I love it, right? Because I get to do whatever I want. Like, and so when I go to networking, people are like, so what do you do? Whatever I want. And it
yep.
Right? And it just throws people off. And I know that you're very similar in that aspect. I do whatever I want. So
yep. I do what I want when I want to. I love it. Like,
and one of the things, and I know you're very transparent, your vulnerability is something that I perhaps aspire to embody one day. I'm not quite there with my own vulnerability yet. I can be pretty open about my story, but being vulnerable in the moment, not something I jive with, not something that I can embody at the moment. I'll own that. But you do it so beautifully. How did you get there? Because I know that hasn't been easy.
So it all started by listening to what people kept saying back to me. And they're like, I just love that you'll share that you're not perfect. I just really resonate with you when you're not like everyone else. You're not always showing perfect. And I wasn't intentionally trying to show that I wasn't perfect. I just wasn't perfect. I have the world's worst poker face. You'll always know if I'm trying to tell a lie. Like, I used to be that kid in high school that I'd tell my parents I was going somewhere and go somewhere else, and then call them when I got somewhere else and be like, okay, I totally lied to you right there. And so I just realized that it was what was resonating with people. And we need people that we can feel safe to show up with or show up in front of, or and not feel like we're alone and isolated. And so if my sharing my screw ups or just being really real with where I'm at in the moment helps someone, then what a great gift. So
it is absolutely beautiful. You're not the only one that does it in my space, and I'm just like, oh, I can't be vulnerable in the moment. And that's my own transparency. I have trauma, and so it's really hard for me to just be that vulnerable in the moment, because I have my own way of processing it, and I'm better at sharing after the fact than I'm in the moment, right? But one of the things, entrepreneurial related, or just going after writing a book because as a hobby, or having a hobby, or anything that you're trying to do, you're gonna have those really crappy days. And that's why I bring that up, because you share those moments so authentically. Fuck, I hate that word, but it's a word.
We can make up a different one. We could be like, you share that so gnurgenflergen-ish.
Yeah, there you go. That's the new word. Webster, get on that. Because it is really hard that, not my days aren't all rosy, rainbows, unicorns. I freaking hate unicorns. Like, I hate that whole spiel about it. Because it's just not reality.
Right?
We have really crappy days. We have really hard relationship challenges. We have, not launches, but ideas that don't happen the way we want to. Let's go with that.
Right. We cannot control the outcome of that idea being thrust out into the world. What?
What? You mean 100 million people are not buying my shit? It's all of that. And again, you share those moments very authentically. Somebody listening and watching, what is your advice or tip on how to just show up in that moment, whether it's publicly or not? They don't have to do it on Facebook or any other social media, but for themselves. What's your advice for them to just kind of get through that crappy moment?
First off, breathe. Like, that's one of the things. If we stop breathing for longer than 7 minutes, we're in really big trouble. So my recommendation, breathe. And then I'm an extrovert, and not in the extrovert, like well, I am in the extrovert, like, come here, I love you, and I collect introverts. I do that. And I'm also the extrovert.
I am in your collection.
Right? I'm just like, oh, you're introverted. Come here. I love you. But I'm also extroverted in the sense that I process everything out loud. And so for me, I take a breath and I'm just like, I'm so scared right now. I'm really worried about blah, 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 blah. And I just say it out loud. And as I do that, that fear, that feeling of constriction or worry or anything like that, it just lessens. It lessens and it lessens and it lessens. Now, a lot of people are like, meditation, dive into meditation. Meditation, is going to do that for you. Sometimes my meditation literally looks like my foot's fucking itchy. Now it's asleep. Oh my God. Like, yeah. And I'm just like, I'm so angry right now. I want to like rip the hearts out of kittens. Like, no kittens were harmed in the making of this interview.
No, not at all.
Right. But I just like blather it all out, whether it be by myself to a person that is close and safe, right? And now I've fostered a community online that is safe for me, right? So I can blather that stuff out, and I don't get like a bunch of hate messages for it. Yeah. Or at least none that outnumber the thanks for doing that.
I think something that when you mentioned the kittens, no kittens are being harmed. We're all animal friendly around here. We do get a certain amount of rage about different things, anger. And I know in my world, and I allow myself to be angry, like I'm good with anger. Anger and I are buddies because we need that. But for so many years, centuries, I don't know, we've been told to not be angry. Right?
And now it's just worse because they're like, you need to say positive affirmations and put some maple syrup on that shit. You cannot be angry.
But I love that you brought that up, that you allow yourself to express that. And I want to emphasize on that because I think we do it. For me, it's usually a moment of frustration that leads to anger. Frustration is usually my core challenge that leads to all of my emotions. Whether it be angry or just, oh my God, right? Like that. Allowing yourself to be angry, however, is not easy.
No.
But you do it, because I've seen your posts. I'm like, oh, there's some anger bubbling inside of I feel that. You know what I mean? Because that's like, there's that anger bubbling inside, but she's not quite ready to be like, bah.
Right? I didn't put my ranty pants on.
I think part of the point of time is like you pointed out, it's okay to be angry, and Absolutely. It's okay to share it however. Well, don't hurt people or animals for that matter, but share it in a healthy kind of a way, whatever that looks like for you. Meditation is not for me. I'm a writer, so I write about it. You know, find a way to release that.
Yes. Yeah.
I think that's.
I can share with you. I recently, like, if you follow me at all, or you go back, you watch this, and you're like, I want to check this chick out. You're gonna see, especially like end of December, beginning of January, I was I was in a place of anger and hurt and resentment and all that stewing together. And so some of the things that I do to release anger, well, one, safe people. I talk about it. I process it all out loud. My husband, I just say to him, don't fix this. Just, keep watching the game, but occasionally look at me and nod. Right. Yeah. And I just like put it all out there. But I mean, I gave away everything that I associated with the person that I was angry with. I'm like, this just needs to get out of my space. I burnt stuff. Things that were breakable, I broke. And I just like, there it was. It was just a release. And nobody got hurt. Like I didn't physically damage something that I wasn't willing to let go of. Like that was part of the process. And afterwards it felt so much better, infinitely better. And the cool part is my kid participated in the burning of stuff, and I explain what I was doing so that she can understand it, that
Yeah.
she's watching all these big emotions be processed in a way. And I think that's
Yeah.
the
I love that. For me, you know, going to the gym, that's my release. Running on the treadmill like a maniac. It's sort of like letting it all out. That's my process because I just runner's high. It's a thing. And that's where I get sort of the release and all of that. The thing that you pointed out, and it's a work in progress in my own relationship, is to not have people fix it. This is why I love talking to you, because you're like yes, this is it. Never know how these conversations gonna go, but I think that's might be part of the challenge of not sharing openly. Part of me that's true for me is because people are trying to fix it when we just want people to hold space.
Yep.
Right. So I know I would come to my partner and he were like, well, I will fix it. No, don't fix it. Just fucking listen and
yeah. Sit down, shut up, and wait 20 minutes till this is all out of my system.
Yeah. Some of us just need a little bit more time to process.
Right. So I had a bunch of ladies at the Permission Granted retreat in Costa Rica. And one of the things, because that whole retreat I didn't plan, right? I literally rolled with it. We did faith and trust, the whole thing. It was, even though I roll with things exceptionally well, it was very challenging for me, challenging for the people that were there. But one of the most beautiful things that came out of it is asking for what you need. So you said people try and fix it and you just want them to witness and hold space. So we worked on a lot that week. Ask for what it is that you need. I need you to hold, like, I need somebody to hold space for me. Are you able to do that? They say yes, you do what you want. They say no, you're like, okay, good, thanks. I'll come back to you I'll circle back around to you if there's some other way that you can assist me. And just being really clear on that.
I love that. It's for me, it's a work in progress, and every now and then I have to throw reminders out going, nope, don't need you to fix it. Just listen and let me be. Let me get it out and then step back. And it's funny because I'm in therapy with my son as we're transitioning into adulthood with disabilities, and we're literally practicing how to ask for help. And I'm going, why do we not know how to do this?
Right?
Here I am in therapy, literally working on this with my kid to teach him how to ask for help when he needs help, whether it be emotional or anything else. And why don't we know how to do this?
Yeah. Where do we get the saying, use your words, but maybe we're not teaching ourselves and others like what using your words actually means.
Yeah, that makes me think, it's so funny to bring it up because he used to be nonverbal until he was 5. He didn't have the words, and I sort of did I know what he's saying kind of situation. And I had words for him, and to where then I had to let go and teach him how to use his own words. It's a whole nother thing. But back to whole goals, dreams, and all that jazz, because I feel like I got up attention with some of this. One of the things, I was in a mastermind with you that you led with another person, and it was all about imperfect action. It was 90 days of goal setting, and we met every week for like an hour and a half. And I did some amazing things. Published on a Huffington Post, wrote a book in 2 weeks, and y'all were like, what the hell? And I'm like, this is what Lisa teaches. She said, do it. And I said, okay. But that's, I think, one of your fundamental messages is to take that imperfect action. English is my second language, y'all. I show up with mistakes all the time. I know to this day still publish blog posts that have grammatical errors, spelling errors. If you can't read through that message and you focus on my mistakes, I'm not your person.
Right. Same here. And English is my first language. It's my only language.
Yeah.
So
so there's that. How do you guide clients, because that's probably the biggest thing, to just leap into the action, to just let go of perfection? Because even with one of my clients, that perfectionism is so big. Like, I need more school. No, you don't. You just, you just do it.
Right.
Do it. How do you guide them to that point where they do take action?
You know, it's really, I love that question. And then I'm like, what is the answer? Um, so for me, it's establishing trust, right? And so that they know that I'm there no matter what.
Yeah.
Right. Like we're going to do this alongside one another. And what I find works with clients, and rarely do we have to get to this stage, but sometimes we do, where I have to say, okay, you can dare me to do anything, anything. And if they take their action, I'll do whatever it is that they've dared me to do.
That's awesome.
Right. And so with that, then they're like, okay, so I know that I can make this so much worse. Like, but usually what happens is that, so we'll come to that agreement, they'll do their thing, and they'll have such a rush from taking their action that they don't need to put me through my paces.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're just excited that they've taken that leap to do their thing. So.
Right, because it is one of those biggest challenges, because somewhere, somehow, any of us at any given point have picked up the messages, we're not good enough, we're not smart enough, we're not perfect enough, we're not all those amazing things, because we're freaking human.
Yeah.
Not robots, for crying out loud, or unicorns for that matter. Can you tell I'm like an anti-unicorn person? And to just let all that go and just put it out there and just write that book or start that business or whatever. Those were my foundations. Like, oh, I had to get over myself to write my first book, right? Like,
And how many books are you on now?
I'm in the process of writing number 6.
See, I think you figured it out.
I'm good with my non-perfectionism. And it's one of those, I think when you and I first connected, so if you're not an entrepreneur per se, there's launching and planning. And I talk about planning, but in a different kind of a way. But there's launching and sales funnels, and there's all these components about running a business online. One of your first messages that I think where I was like, oh yeah, that's my people, was like, fuck the funnel.
Oh, that got me so much love and so much hate all at once.
But it supports the premise of, if you have an idea, act on it. Just do it.
Yeah. Right? Act on it, get started. And then, like, so the thing with the funnel, if I can like just rant about funnels for a moment, because clearly I have not like left that behind, is that you spend all these hours building your freebie and then building your landing page and your funnels and like all these delivery systems for this people to sign up to your list. And say you missed the mark, because say that fear hijacked your process somewhere in there, whether you noticed it or not, and then you don't get the signups and you've wasted hundreds of hours building this stuff, right? Because it's not unheard of to watch people take months to do this, if not years. I've watched people take years, right? So if you launch, right, imperfectly, just tell people, spit it out, I'm doing this. Pre-sales are a beautiful thing, people, okay? Launch, people say, yes, they want it. Then you can build it.
Right.
You can build it. You can build in extra bonuses for people while you're building your funnels, whatever you want. But you haven't wasted all those hours. You are actually already making money. And to me, that just makes sense.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful, because I do think we get stuck in having the perfect website. And I know I found myself in there early on in my startup entrepreneurship as a coach type person. I actually don't resonate with the word coach.
Me either. That's a big surprise.
But for a lack of a better word, that's what I have to use. So people will be like, oh, okay. You know, I'm actually merged consultant in there now, because that's the other part that I do. I sort of mesh consulting with coaching and strategy. So that's my jam. I see the vision, and then I map it out, and then we get to work.
Right? I like it.
It's great. But we do get hung up on the perfect website, on the perfect emails to get people signed up, on the perfect sales page to get people to buy. I literally just rewrote my sales page. It's like, if you found me and you know about me, cool, this is how you can work with me. If you don't know about me, you might want to check this out to get to know me, and then figure out if you want to work with me. And it's like, oh,
yeah,
ah,
simplified, right?
Because you're gonna know if you want to work with me or not.
Right.
I don't have to sell you on me.
I try to tell people, I'm like, I'm offensive as fuck. Like, I'm gonna offend you. So
Yes.
please go back, look at some of my stuff, get offended, and then if you're still willing to talk to me, come talk to me. Because if you don't know that about me, I don't want the drama of when I offend you, because it'll happen.
Oh, absolutely. And it goes, you know, there's like, oh, don't use curse words when you're in business or a professional. Fuck off.
Right.
I use curse words in my everyday language. Why would I not use them in my business when this is my business?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Question of the day, maybe.
All right.
Best way to jump on that idea to get started and ditch perfection for anybody that's got that thing marinating in their head forever and says, oh, I want to do that.
Okay. So if the best way, or I'd like the baby step way, because I got two.
Whatever you want to share.
So there's the baby step way, which is the idea comes into your head. And then, because I'm assuming if you're listening to this, you've already sent me a friend request. You're going to message me and you're going to tell me what the idea is. That's the baby step way. All right.
Nice.
The best way is to hit go live and talk about it on your social media. Or if you're a writer versus like in love with the video thing, then write the post, tag me in it, and hit post. Because that gets you started. That gives you the accountability. It brings you the visibility. It lets people know that you're cooking with a great fucking idea and they can say yes from that second forward and forward, right?
Yeah.
Versus, well, you know, first off, you got to make sure that you go to ClickFunnels and start building your lead page or landing box. Like, I don't fucking even know what the words, none of them. So I do all my launches on social media out loud.
Yeah. No, I love that. I truly do. Again, it's the no cookie cutter thing going on. I mean, I have all the business things, but they've been 5 years in the making. You know, I spent the time and figured it out. And I love that you pointed out go live or don't. If you're a writer, be a writer. And again, because there's so many people that say, oh, you need to be on Facebook. I love doing these interviews. Mm-hmm. That's my jam. I'm good with them. But going on Facebook Live to teach you something? Nope. That's what you pay me for.
Right?
You can have a blog, I have a blog where you can read about any of that for free. So there's that.
Yeah.
So I love that you brought that up. So however you're comfortable with sharing with the world and Lisa, what your idea is and what you want to do that.
Right. And in that you can ask, like in that post or on that live stream or whatever, you can ask for whatever support you need.
Yeah.
Right. If you're like, this is my idea, I'm running towards it and let's go, then you can, and I need help with whatever, then you can ask for that.
Yes. Asking for help, y'all.
Yeah, right. Like that does not make you weak. Right. So I think that's very important. And if you're worried about somebody stealing your idea, because this comes up a lot, like, oh, well, I shared this idea and somebody stole it. Nobody will ever bring the energy that you would bring to a certain product or situation or launch or idea or whatever you want to call it. Only you can. So if, like, bitch, please, if somebody else steals that idea, who cares? Let them. Launch anyway, because and laugh at the fact that
this is so true, because I mean I've certainly been around long enough to see a lot of copycats and thievery going on, and where I've seen them fail and the other person just keep going.
Right.
Stay in your lane.
Yeah. And learn from there. So like failures are your friends.
Yeah.
They're the fastest learning experience that you can hope for. They're not the funnest,
no. but they are solid. They're solid. I don't actually believe like in failure specifically anyway. For me, it's sort of like learning lessons because that's what they do. They teach you some important shit.
Yep.
So
100%.
people want to connect with you because you're awesome. Where can they go and do that?
The easiest way to find me is literally on social media, on Facebook, type in Lisa Friedt T, and you'll find me. My business page will be there. My personal profile is wide open. The only time that you can't see everything I'm posting is if it's your birthday and I'm trying to do some covert, like, secret mission shit and I've hidden it from you. But everything else wide open. Everybody gets to see it all the time. So just friend request, send me a message and say, hey, I watched you at the Rebel's Den, and or I heard you on the Rebel's Den, or whatever, whichever way you find me in this interview. And that's the easiest way to connect with me.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Lisa, for your time and hanging out with me on the Rebel's Den.
Thanks so much for having me, and let's do this again soon.